नमस्कार, आपके अपने चैनल रोडू अभी में बहुत बहुत स्वागत। मैं हूं आपका होस्ट, आप देख रहे हैं रोडू अभी। जी हाँ साथियों, आज हूं मैं खूबसूरत गांव ब्रासिली में, जो रोडू से 10 किलोमीटर दूर है। आज हम भगत सिंह ठाकुर, जो अडाल के रहने वाले हैं, जिनका ऑर्चर्ड ब्रासिली गांव में है, जो आज हमारे बीच जो प्रूनिंग एक्सपर्ट है वो न्यूजीलैंड के ह्यूगस हमारे बीच है, जो आज प्रूनिंग की जानकारी हमारे साथ साझा करेंगे। यहाँ पर बड़े बड़े प्रोग्रेसिव ग्रोवर केडी दत्ताजी, सुरेंद्र बिष्ट जी और दूर दराज से आए कृषि विज्ञान केंद्र कांसाकोटी के डॉक्टर नरेंद्र कायत जी, एसडीओ हॉर्टिकल्चर डिपार्टमेंट रोडू के श्री कुशाल मेहता जी भी इस प्रूनिंग जो सेशन चल रहा है इसमें उपस्थित है। ज़्यादा ना समय लेते, आइए वीडियो शुरू करते हैं।
So we don't like these complicated.
हिंदी बोलते हैं, सुना मैंने एक आदमी
इसमें वो आएंगे।
So I'm happy to leave a couple of buds there for regrowth.
ताकि इसमें वही ट्रेनिंग नेक्स्ट ईयर बीमे बने। ये प्रसन्न हो जाए। हाँ, थोड़ा सा आप शांति का दान दें। हाँ, कोई नहीं। नहीं वो एक नहीं बोलते ना, काटने दो इस पहले तब। हाँ, उसके बाद आपको पूरा थोड़ा सा दूर दूर रहे तो ज़्यादा पूछने की जरूरत नहीं। और क्या देखने लग जाएगा, पता पंद्रह कुछ नहीं करते तो ऊपर जाए तो सब करते हैं।
So this has been headed back a couple of times. It's on top. Normally I would remove that, but maybe it's worth keeping. No, I don't like it. Again, that's been headed, strong vegetative upright growth, so that's going to create a problem, so I might as well get rid of it. Here's a hard one. We do have some spurs there, so maybe we could leave that. If it fruits, that's the other thing. We like to see something fruit and then bend down with the weight of fruit. But if it's been headed, then it's not going to bend down. So really, for us, I'd rather just remove it. We want to see these flat branches here develop spurs and fill the space. So we keep the flat ones. Here here's a 50-50 call. They're quite weak. They've got terminal buds. It's been shortened, which we wouldn't do. There's probably not room for both of those. 50-50 call, maybe you just take one of them out. Again, I don't like that. I'd rather just get rid of that and tidy it up now. I don't think there's a good spur there. Does anyone think that's going to set fruit?
remove it.
We can put a tag on it and have a look. Here, that's been cut recently. This is growing inside. It's probably no good. And all that's too low. The danger with a pruning demonstration like this is that I cut too much. Have to know when to finish. Okay, we're going to bend that one out. We'll leave this one, we can keep that too, but I'll take we'll leave all of that. That's okay. There might be too much fruit there if these spurs here set, and that's quite weak. So if we were worried that that was going to set too many apples and they'd be small, we could remove
ये
some of
टहनी
those
कमजोर
spurs.
थी, इसमें इन्होंने बी में एक दो रिमूव कर दिए, क्योंकि ये कह रहे हैं कि यदि हम इसको रखते हैं तो फ्रूट सख्त तो हो जाएगा, लेकिन छोटा फ्रूट रहेगा.
Okay, so I think I'm finished, although there's one cut that I would like to show you and for us to talk about. So we say that we don't want our trees to look pretty, that we don't want to win a beauty contest, we just want to produce a big crop.
ये कह रहे हैं कि पेड़ को इतना सुंदर नहीं बनाना, हमने ब्यूटी कॉन्टेस्ट में नहीं ले जाना, और अच्छी क्रॉप लेनी है, तो उस हिसाब से ये इसकी प्रूनिंग कर रहे हैं.
So this branch here is, we have to decide what to do. We can't really leave it. We have two options. One would be to tie it down into this space.
Yes.
That would be the best option.
Best option.
Or we remove it. But I think by way of illustration, it would be best to tie it down.
We should keep it.
We should keep it. And just to finish, so I think the pruning is finished. Let me have a look here. What we do, so there's a miss there. So what if it depends what happens. If we can set fruit on these 2-year-olds, and if the fruit will bring them down naturally, that would be the best outcome. But if they don't set, we should tie them down, because we don't want them to become strong and upright like this one here and the other one already was. And the best time for tying down is really in this after bloom, any time after bloom through to the start of the monsoon. But it's better to tie down in the growing season than now. If we tie it down now, we might just get upright shoots growing on it, which are not useful. If we let it grow and then tie it down, then all of the shoots come down when we tie it down. So I don't know what you think. I see there's been a bit of has that been done by hand, breaking over like that?
Yes.
Some people like that, but we don't bother with that. So yeah, time for questions and any comments. You can say whatever you think.
Jack, do you leave this intentionally or?
No, I missed that one. I'm not an A-grade pruner. So in New Zealand, pretty much all the pruning is done on a contract basis. So the farmer will negotiate and say this tree is a $4 tree or whatever, and then he will check the quality. So the pruner has the incentive to prune quick. And we set up a big crop, then we're going to have a small crop next year. So really, that's another consideration, that we want to have a good crop every year, not a very big one and then a small one. So that has to be part of the decision-making process.
ये कह रहे हैं कि हैंड थिनिंग, जैसे करण जी भी कह रहे हैं, हम भी कह रहे हैं कि ये बहुत बड़े प्लांट में बहुत मुश्किल है करनी. तो उसमें क्या दिक्कत है कि एक साल में भारी क्रॉप आ जाएगी, और यदि ज़्यादा क्रॉप रहती है तो थिनिंग नहीं करते हैं, तो अगले साल जो है बिल्कुल लेस क्रॉप रहेगी. वो तो नेचुरल है, रिसेस के साथ वैसा ही होता है. और ये अब डिसीजन लेना है इन्होंने, ये कह रहे हैं कि भी अब हम ये डिसाइड करेंगे कि हमने करना क्या है फर्दर.
And yeah, so if we make a decision we're not going to spend the money on hand thinning, then we might prune a bit harder so that we set a crop that is not too big. But if we're not sure how good the fruit set will be, then we have to be more conservative with the pruning.
अब सारे डिसीजन जो है रिस्क हैं सारे. ये कह रहे हैं कि हम हैंड थिनिंग नहीं कर सकते अफोर्ड, तो मैं कहते इसको और थोड़ा हार्ड प्रूनिंग करूंगा. लेकिन रिस्क ये है कि यदि हमारे पास स्थितियां ऐसी नहीं बनी कि क्रॉप फिर फेल हो गई, तो तो इसके बारे में जो है आगे क्या सोचना है, इसको थिन किया जाए या कि हैंड थिन किया जाए बाद में फ्रूट का। हाँ कर रहा था।
It does have 3 good spurs there, so there might be 2 apples there. Do you want 2 apples, or I can cut it and we'll get a new shoot growing?
We have enough spur for apples.
There's some good spurs here.
Basically,
It doesn't
Jack,
need any
Jack,
pruning in my
we
view.
just used to cut this from here
Yes,
at the ring,
I know.
and that says the growth will stop here.
Does
if we
it?
cut at the ring?
Will it?
I don't think, but
Well, I don't think it will. If this tree wants to grow,
This is the technology.
I know, but we don't agree.
kiwi-
We don't use it.
Yeah.
I think it works in low vigor environments like Holland.
Yeah.
You know, it's raining and cloudy and cold there a lot. Here you have sunshine and people have smiles on their faces, and the trees want to grow. So you can make a ring cut and the tree's just going to ignore the ring cut and grow. So what ultimately decides the growth of this tree is how many apples does it carry, and that's the best way to slow down the growth. How hard has it been pruned? How much nitrogen has been put on the soil? How much water the tree has? So you want to manage all of those things.
पानी ज़्यादा होगा तो और ग्रोथ ज़्यादा होगी, तो उसको माइंड में रखना है कि आपका सॉइल टेस्टिंग क्या है, सॉइल में न्यूट्रिएंट कितना है, उसको माइंड में रखते हुए प्रूनिंग होनी चाहिए। अदरवाइज अगर पहले ग्रोथ है और नाइट्रोजन डाल रहे हैं और ग्रोथ हो जाएगी तो लकड़ी बनेगी।
Move the ladder.
One question.
Yeah.
You left the top ladder
Yes.
as it is.
Yeah, and that's a good question,
yes.
Kushal, and that's a tough one.
To reach.
Yeah, if you have a ladder to reach, then it's fine. For us, yeah, that tree is getting too tall. It is a problem to deal with. If we reduce the height, we're going to make it want to grow more in the winter time.
लंबा कौन है और
है ना, ये तो हो जाएगा, पर ये कह रहा है ना,
इसके ऊपर चढ़ के ना पूरा
ये ह्यूज पता है क्या कह रहे हैं कि भाई यदि इसको और हेड बैक करेंगे और भागेगा बहुत ऊंचा चला गया है, इसलिए थोड़ा ऊपर तो भागना है। So what is the final decision for this leader?
Well, my decision is to leave it.
Yeah.
This year, I would be happy if it set fruit and maybe it bent over a little bit and we can reach the fruit and pick it. But in 1 more year or 2 more years, we may have to reduce the height. It depends on how we can harvest it, I guess.
डॉक्टर कुशल इनका ये कह रहे हैं कि भी इसको हमने छोड़ के किया अब, ताकि ये नेक्स्ट 2 ईयर तक जो है ये ऐसे थोड़ा सा स्ट्रेंथन हो जाए और उसके बाद इसको थोड़ा रिड्यूस करेंगे। इस बार करेंगे तो ये और ऊंचा चला जाएगा। इन्होंने छोड़ के किया है। हाँ, ये डिसाइडेड, ये इन्होंने छोड़ के किया।
we can manage to harvest at that height.
Yes.
How could we prune this?
Okay.
That's the question basically.
All right. Well, I wouldn't prune that at all. If we prune that, we're going to make it grow more. So what we want is to develop more fruiting buds up there and carry more apples and have less growth. So my suggestion is that any of those upright branches we should tie down like this so that it'll stop growing taller. But if we prune it, we're telling it to grow more, and that's what we don't want.
Okay.
There is another option, which would be to head it back, say a month after bloom, because then we won't get so much reaction growth. But that's maybe it's an option, but maybe not a preferred option.
One thing, you leave all of 3.
Yep.
You leave all of 3.
Yes.
Any branches to be cut or leave as it is? This one.
Yes, yeah. Usually three is three. Two's company, three's a crowd. So probably two would be fine. I missed that. Yeah.
You missed it. You missed it.
But it's not the end of the world to miss it.
By mistake come to this branch.
Yes. Yes. Oh, well, I've made a decision that doesn't need any pruning.
Okay. अब ये
Why?
ये हाँ अब मैंने इधर मैंने कहा था कि इस टहनी को हमने बेंड कर दिया है, अब इसकी प्रूनिंग करें। तो ये कह रहे हैं कि हमने इसको छोड़ दिया है, ये डिसाइड कर दिया कि इस पे कोई कट नहीं लगेगा। वाई, क्यों? अब हमने पूछा है इनसे भी क्यों, वाई?
Why? Because I think we pretty much all agree that this young tree that's been top worked has yet to develop enough fruiting spurs for a full crop. We're close, and with good fruit set, good pollination, we might have a nice crop of big apples. But to encourage the development of more fruiting spurs and higher capacity of fruiting, we have to allow the natural process of a 1-year-old shoot developing spurs on a 2-year-old shoot and developing where I can find a 3-year-old shoot. Not really many, but well, like here or like here. We just have to allow it to develop more fruiting spurs, and that takes 2 or 3 years naturally. And if we prune it, we're just slowing that process down. We're just making the tree respond with vegetative growth, which won't carry fruit.
ये कह रहे हैं कि इसमें 2 साल के जो ब्रांचेज है, इसमें अच्छे बीमे बने हुए हैं जो इस साल क्रॉप देंगे, और यदि हम इसको थिन करते हैं तो ये और वेजिटेटिव ग्रोथ देगा। इसलिए इस ब्रांच को जो है इन्होंने ऐसे ही छोड़ दिया है, क्योंकि इसमें बीमे दिख रहे हैं 2 साल पुराने में, और जो नए शूट हैं इसमें कह रहे हैं कि दोबारा नेक्स्ट ईयर के लिए बीमे बनेंगे।
So what happened then if we cut from there?
Then you probably have production levels of 8 or 10 tonnes per hectare, and a whole lot of action, vegetative growth, and you're in the business of growing wood, not fruit.
काटो फिर लकड़, काटो फिर लकड़। अच्छा चलो, इन्होंने ये पूरी ट्री काट दी है ऑलमोस्ट, थोड़ी बहुत जो नज़र में नहीं आई होगी वो छूट भी गई है, जैसे यहाँ पे भी छूट गई है इनसे। तो फिर भी आप एक बारी सारे जो देखो प्रोग्रेसिव ग्रोअर्स हैं, एक बारी ट्री को नीचे से ऊपर तक देखो, और आप कोई क्वेश्चन पूछना चाहते हैं बहुत ही अच्छा लगेगा, क्योंकि डाउट यही जैसे इन्होंने पूछा अभी तो क्लियर होता रहेगा। अदरवाइज क्या होगा ना, हो सकता है ये बोले कि नहीं इन्होंने ये छोड़ दिया था जी, मैं भी छोड़ूंगा। तो कृपया करके एक एक क्वेश्चन जरूर पूछिए।
अब आप इसको गौर से देखो।